The aviation business in the United States is in some difficulty right now. The pilot population is declining, and we're not getting new student pilots in to learn to fly, whether for professional flying or for personal transportation. A lot of people think of just the airline side of the business, but we need to look much more broadly.
All of the aviation industries talk about the fact there's going to be a pilot shortage, and along with the pilot shortage, we're going to have mechanic shortages, and we're going to have air traffic controller shortages. And that's going to be a problem for our infrastructure in the country.
A brighter future through aviation is a brilliant concept. We spend a lot of time talking about museums, and that's looking backwards. And this country has been unique in that we have always been at the forefront of aviation, and we need not to lose that. And we need to be looking to the airplanes of the future, to the transportation systems of the future, and so forth.
Oh, why do I want to fly? I want to fly because it's incredible. There's no way to really describe it, but first time I flew solo and everything, just going down the runway and taking off and just flying high above the ground. You're free. You can do anything you want. You're not restricted.
My father was a pilot, and when I was little, he'd take me out to the airport and we'd watch planes, and he'd just tell me how they worked. So one year I came to Sun and Fun, and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. I want to do this. So I kept coming back. I've been coming for about 5 years now.
It's something about just being in the air, just being able to see the world from a different perspective.
Here at Sun and Fun, our mission is to preserve and enhance the future of flight through our world-class events, and we inspire and educate children of all ages. And for me, I am that child. I tell people I'm the walking, talking mission of Sun and Fun. Came here as a child and went on my first flight, and that ended up developing into a prosperous Navy career with 2,200 hours and 4 deployments.
This is my first exposure to CFAA, and I have to say I'm tremendously impressed. Whenever you get around young people and airplanes, something magical happens. They stop being goofy and silly, and they're not doing all of the texting kinds of things and looking down. They're looking out, they're looking up, they're communicating with people.
The teachers that we have at CFAA are engineers, aviators. We've got the science teachers have science backgrounds. What we're truly trying to do is bring the real world to the students.
Being able to be on an airport is huge, and seeing all the activity and what goes on. They really get a first-hand experience of the atmosphere of an airport, of the different airlines and airplanes that are coming in here.
When you come to CFAA, they can see how all of this fits together, and there's kind of this wonderful journey of discovery of, aha, that's how that works.
I was just in middle school, and this was my first introduction to aviation. I really didn't have any career goals at that time, and it really set the tone for the rest of my life. That experience, what I gained, and what I learned there about aviation and all that it has to offer really directed me in my career.
Being a pilot, you have to understand all of the core skills that they're teaching, the science, technology, engineering, and math. But as a pilot, you have to be able to correlate that in the cockpit quickly. So it goes from a rote learning of these subjects to being actually able to apply them quickly in the flight situation.
It's pretty amazing to be able to go straight from school, straight out to be able to work with my flight instructors. And I get to work with little kids that like wings and things and stuff, and I get to help them and share my knowledge about flight with them.
You'll see here on our campus generations where somebody that's 80 is teaching someone that's 18 who's teaching someone that's 8.
There's so many people here that I can learn from, and they could share their experiences with me, and I could talk to them. And a lot of the people that work here at Sun and Fun, I can actually call them my real friends.
The CFAA concept is a great one, and to be able to have young people come to a high school where usually it's, oh, I'm kind of bored with all of this business, but when you can say, okay, let's talk about vectors, for example. Well, that's all physics. Well, when you can talk about vectors and how that makes an aircraft turn, and now we're going to go flying next Saturday, oh, that's kind of interesting. Maybe I better pay a little more attention. And then when you actually do it, you can see the applied physics and the mathematics and all of those kinds of things. That wouldn't exist without organizations like Sun and Fun and like CFAA.
We've had moments in planes where it's just me and him. He can teach me things, let me feel the controls, get the understanding of how a plane feels while you're in flight versus someone telling me and me not experiencing it.
When we solo a student, it just changes that kid. He flew an airplane by himself. He goes back to school, and if they're in the ROTC program, they're allowed to wear their wings after they've soloed an airplane, so they get to put that on, and that really changes them. They go from kind of being shy and reserved, but when you get out of that airplane and they go up there and fly it around the first time by themselves, it's pretty big change in them when they come down.
Aviation really, it's not a single person thing. You really need people to support you through the whole thing, and Sun and Fun really has been there for me. Whether it's learning to fly, questions I've had, I feel that I can talk to anybody, and I'm surrounded by those who understand exactly what I'm going through and have had experiences and that they're willing to share.
They're still kids and they're going to do kid things, but there's a level of responsibility because there's something at stake. Okay, if they don't keep the grades up and they don't keep the attendance up, they're not going to be allowed to participate in the program, and that helps motivate them. And the other thing is this is something they can put their hands on right now. This isn't some distant college. After you get out of college, you can be a pilot, son. I get 16-year-olds flying in planes by themselves out here. This is great. This is something they can get their hands on now and go forward with it and see the opportunities that are available to them. This is huge.
Sun and Fun would not be able to exist without these sponsors. Our sponsors are very generous. They provide absolutely everything we need, and they fund us. As a 501c3 not-for-profit, every penny we get goes into providing scholarships and aviation access for these children. Background number, $32,000 a month approximately is what we spend on fuel. If a child maintains a 2.75 GPA, we pay for 75% of their license. That is not done just by good wishes and hopeful thinking. That's done by generous sponsors locally and internationally.
Donations to the education programs here at Sun and Fun are critical. I think without that, these programs would not exist today, and I think it's imperative that people invest in that. Like I said, if I didn't have that opportunity, I probably would not be in aviation today. And right now, a big challenge that the aviation industry is facing are the dwindling numbers of people getting into aviation. To foster future growth in the industry, we really need to invest in students today to build the future leaders of tomorrow.
It's fun to be able to give something back. It's great to see a positive result, and I think that as we see other people who are thinking about getting involved and contributing to this, and they see the excitement and the results that it's getting, I think we're going to see more and more people want to get on board and help out, because it really is a great cause.
The donations that we receive from the community, not only the monetary donations, but the donations of time from all of the volunteers are an integral part of what we do at Sun and Fun.
Donating to Sun and Fun is a really big deal because we can see results now. We can change lives right this minute with these kids. We can see the results. It's not some distant dream. This is something we're seeing today.
And if you think about all the opportunities that you have to donate to an organization in your life, wouldn't it be great to be donating to something that is really teaching somebody something and moving them forward and making them a better person?
Because what are we building? We're building the future.
Hi, John Leanhoutz here, President and CEO of the Sun and Fun International Flying and Expo in Lakeland, Florida. We have a passion for aviation here, and we're working hard to evolve Sun and Fun into a year-round program of education excellence for students both young and old. Now, as you've seen, there are many challenges facing the aviation industry, but believe me, they are not insurmountable. Our students are hardworking, they're passionate, and boy are they dedicated. And we're doing everything we can to provide them the highest quality of education. We can't do this alone. Only through our partnerships can we continue on our quest to enhance opportunities for these fine young men and women. We need your help, big and small. Please become part of Sun and Fun's success and all of our successes as we help build that brighter future through aviation. Thank you, and I really do look forward to having you join our team.